Welcome back, everybody. It's Cree Rama from Junk Journal Divas. So I'm back today. I wanted to do another spread in my mixed media altered book. All of this is in a playlist. So if you're interested in seeing more videos, it's all in a playlist for you. So I'm starting this one out again with black gesso. And just going over this page, I'm using a really thin layer because it covers pretty well, and I just want a very thin layer and make sure that it's really nice and dry. And I just received these really fun napkins yesterday from my diva sister, Jolie J. And I just thought this napkin, I've never seen one like this. I thought this was really cool and I couldn't wait to use it. So I already have my Halloween stuff out, and I thought, okay, this is just calling for me to do another spread in my book. So I do cut out this one. I don't use this piece of napkin, but I think I'll have to do another page and use it. But for now, I'm just cutting out a couple of these ghosts. And just in case you don't know this tip, you just want the very, very top layer of your napkin. So this was a really thick one. So one layer came off really well, and then if you just use a little piece of tape, the other layer will pull up really easily. So that's a lot easier than trying to just find and, separate it with your fingers. So I'm just cutting out these ghosts, and I'm going to put them down with a layer of Mod Podge and then put my ghost down and then some Mod Podge on top. And another thing to keep in mind, so if you want your edges to be more soft, I guess I would say, instead of cutting out your image, you could always go around it with just a brush and some water, and it pulls apart, and then it makes that edge a little softer rather than using the scissors. But it doesn't matter for me, I just cut them out here. Just something to keep in mind. And I'm using my spatula. Another reason why I love these spatulas is because, and you'll see here, I end up doing it after I get everything down. But if I take my spatula, see here, and I'm kind of just scraping over it, it will get the extra glue off. So that's helpful. Just helps it when you're drying so that it's a nice even layer, thin layer of glue. So as always, with anything mixed media, make sure you dry really well between layers. So now I'm playing with my distress crayons again because I loved that in the last one that I just did. But after I added the crayons here, I thought I should have done that before I put the ghosts on top. So I do end up going back and I add more ghosts on top of all of this. Just so that you could see them a little bit better. And here I'm just bringing in a stencil and a baby wipe. This is the same technique I used in the previous video for the same spooky prompt. And this is a really fun technique and just kind of lifts off the color and gives you a really cool background. I'm using some Tim Holtz crackle paint here. You guys know I love playing around with different mediums. And if you're not familiar with it, the crackle paint is translucent, so you can see through it. Crackle paste is opaque, white, and you can add different color to it if you want, but it is opaque. So I just added a little bit. I wanted to see what it did. I mean, you can see if you know it's there, but it didn't do all that much for an effect because I already had the ripples in the napkin. So here is where I'm cutting out another ghost because I wanted to be able to see it a little bit better. So I'm doing the same exact thing, just my Mod Podge, the napkin, and then a layer of Mod Podge on top. Another thing just to mention is this technique that I'm doing here, how I'm making the background. This would also be a great thing to do just maybe some food packaging or something, just kind of cover it, and then you could cut it up and you'd have some great tag backgrounds. So just another option and thing to keep in mind. I really like this technique, so I was thinking I could do something like this for holiday and make some holiday tags. You know, I love making tag books and different things. So now I'm just making sure that these are really nice and dry so I can move on to the next stage here. So now I have my crackle paste, which is opaque. And again, the crackle paint is the one that is translucent. So I'm kind of just putting some on here and I want to see how I like it. This is all about exploring in this book. And now while that's kind of drying, I'm just cutting out some focal points that I want to use, and I'm adding a little bit of spray, like just a little bit of color here to the crackle paint, and adding some ink and just letting it mix around a little bit. And this is just another thing that I like to do, is just squish it together. It also helps just distribute it more evenly so that it dries a little bit better. And now I have some of my houses in my stash here and cutting those out to use as my focal points with my spooky looking doll. So I'm going to glue those down. I do go back over with some more crackle paint at the bottom of the page because I just wanted to kind of blend it in, you know, my house and my witch. I wanted to kind of blend them in a little bit better. Okay guys, so it's the next day here and I wanted to show you my final page. So I did go back and I added more crackle paste at the bottom here and over here. And just since I'm using this book as kind of like my way of exploring some mixed media things, I wrote down the prompt, the date, and just the things that I used: napkin, distress crayons, crackle paste, and black gesso. So you can see the crackle up here. I went around my little sayings here with a paint marker and here, and you can see the ghost, the napkin in the background here, and there's one here. So just kind of cool. And then this is from the previous one. This is a different video. When I stamped images onto tissue, all these pieces, and then cut them out and glued them on, just like I did over here with the napkin. I had this word left, so I added that. So this is another fun page. I'm having fun with this prompt because I have all my Halloween stuff out. So I might have to do another one with this because I cut a piece of this napkin. But for now, thank you for joining me for this spread, and I hope I inspired you to get your hands messy.